This week, Morning Live anchor Sakina Kamwendo is part of one of 3 South African delegations currently in Switzerland as part of the country's initiative to look at best practice when it comes to the field of science and innovation. Switzerland is hailed as being at the forefront of innovation in the world and already has strong working relations with South Africa in areas which include science and research. Now, as part of the mission, she visited the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, which focuses on education, research and innovation.
The EPFL is international universities. We are proud to have more than 12,000 students on the campus. It's a very international campus. We have more than 120 nationalities here at the campus. And we really try to mix the different cultures together. We have different faculties. We are covering life science, architecture, engineering, but also management of technologies and digital humanities also. And we really try to break down the silos between these different faculties, that the professors, the students work together and exchange, collide their ideas. I think the best thing to explain is to increase the probability to find the next game-changing idea in the fact that really the people mix and mingle. Yeah.
So that is something that always proves to be difficult because people are scrambling for funding, not across sectors only, but even within institutions amongst faculties. So how do you actually work towards breaking down those silos practically here at EPFL?
So we have a culture. We're a young university. We're 50 years old. So we have a strong culture that the professors are keen to work together, to talk to each other. We are lucky that we have a funding. 2/3 of the funding from the EPFL comes from the state. So we have a basis funding which allows the professors to have some academic freedom to discuss, to exchange. And then on top of that, with third-party funding, computational funding, of course there is some competition between the professors. But thanks to this structure, we are able to have the discussion. And sometimes a professor which is expert in one domain will ask another professor which is expert in other domains to exchange and develop a new projects on a specific topics. So it works quite well, but it took time to put in place, for sure.
And in terms of attracting, international competencies towards this particular institution, how are you able to do that? Because this, you have, I was listening earlier, you are the most international institution in that regard. How are you able to attract those people to come here, of all places?
Also for the students, we keep the tuition fee as low as possible. So the students pay about 1,400 Swiss francs, if I'm right, for a year, which is extremely low compared, for example, to US or private universities. So really want to have the best ones around the world. And then if the students if it's still a lot of money for them with this tuition fee and the daily expenses, they become financial support, but only for the best ones. So we have to show that you are top-notch students and future researcher, and then we support them with that. And this is, of course, attractive because we're also lucky to have a great region. We are close to the lake, the mountains, so it's also lucky to be in a great region, which is attractive also. And the city is also very international, so it's becoming very attractive for people around the world, for the young people around the world. But then also for the professors, because they have a lot of freedom here to work on projects. They have, I would say, good budget, able to collaborate, to get access to European funding, Swiss funding for their research. And I think all the ecosystem, all these elements together makes attractive for people around the world to come here.
And when you say, they have the freedom to work on projects, this, of course, is something that I've picked up during this week. Minimal interference from government because you're not too dependent on government for funding.
Yeah. Exactly. So we get the money, but we have extremely high freedom about the topics we want to focus on. And this is, of course, a big advantage, of course, yeah.
And speaking of the topics, you were looking at some of the master's topics that you have lately embarked on. Let's just talk about those and look at them in the context of the fourth industrial revolution and where we find ourselves right now.
So, of course, we're also making strategies. Every 4 years, we think about where we will go to in the future. And the way we are doing is that the professors are talking to each other and they're talking about strategy. And where we push the frontiers is where we are already good at. And we've defined 6 different topics we want to push further. There's topics we are still very good at, but I think we can do even more in that. And we talk about energy sustainability, we talk about neurosciences, we talk about privacy and trust, we talk about imaging, for example. We have a long-time expertise in the field of in imaging. We talk also about intelligent system. It's all about machine learning, AI, mathematics. Intelligent system could be a drone, could be an infrastructure. So it really depends on the topic. And the last one is fundamental sciences. We need mathematics, physics, and chemistry to support the other sciences, the engineering topics, to be really excellent at that.
Well, thank you so much. And just finally, someone might be watching back in South Africa and thinking, I'd like to be a part of that. How could they become part of it?
Yeah, you just have to send their, we call it a dossier or file, and then there's a board which is checking if the student is good enough or the people is good enough, and then is accepted to start a master and be part of this great ecosystem.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.